they're already really enthusiastically implementing a policy of one in, one out. I have to say, I mean, it is a bit galling week in, week out, but the honourable gentleman raises the proposed strike action by the doctors, which of course is extremely disappointing, and strike action that we don't think is at all necessary, because when the NHS is finally moving in the right direction, these strikes will put that recovery at risk, affecting patients and letting down our collective obligations to those that we're here to serve. We have delivered a very generous pay settlement, but we are keen to work constructively, and the door of the Secretary of State remains open, and he'll be in the House shortly. But this is a very different approach to what the Conservative left does, Mr Speaker. They left the NHS on its knees, waiting lists at a record high, over 500,000 appointments and operations cancelled due to strike action in just 1 year. And it wasn't just the doctors. The rail strikes cost the economy over £1 billion. The teachers' strike lost 600 teaching days in 1 year. And they went to war with public sector workers week in, week out. I did notice, though, Mr Speaker, that the Leader of the Opposition today is giving a speech talking about the ticking time bomb that's been left. Too right. It's a ticking time bomb. It's their ticking time bomb, and we all know that they left mines all over the place, and we're coming along having to sweep them out. And it gives me the opportunity. He wants to know about how our first year in office is going. I'm happy to tell him, Mr Speaker, because we promised 2 million extra NHS appointments, and we've delivered 1 million more than that. We said we'd get waiting lists down, and they're coming down month on month. Interest rates are coming down, and net migration is coming down from a record high that they left it. We've secured 3 trade deals they once hailed but never delivered, and we've got them going. We've created nearly 400,000 new jobs since the election. We recruited an extra 3,000 new police officers. We built nearly 200,000 new homes, established Great British Energy, extended the warm home discount to 6 million more households, expanded free school meals for 500,000 more children, opened free breakfast clubs. We've banned water bosses' bonuses who've been polluting our rivers, and wages grew more in our first 10 months in office than they did in their last 10 years of office. I'm happy to debate him any time on our record, Mr Speaker, so thank him for that opportunity to do that today. But I do have to feel slightly sorry for the shadow leader coming here week in, week out, when it's just going from bad to worse for the Conservative Party, isn't it? Perhaps that's why he has to go so into deep history as part of his speeches, because he doesn't want to talk about recent history. But he's one of the first up this morning after a big defection overnight, let's be honest, the latest in a long line of those fleeing the sinking ship. And I mean, I wouldn't have put Jake Berry, best friend of Boris Johnson and former chair of the Conservative Party, I wouldn't put him down as a likely defector, actually. I mean, it really is that bad for them, isn't it? But I couldn't have put it better myself than what Jake had to say about it. And I'll give a little quote to the House, if you like. We've got a Conservative Party that doesn't seem to know what it stands for anymore. They've lost their way. They've abandoned their principles. They've abandoned the British people. I mean, he's right, isn't he, Mr Speaker? But having said that, I think we can't pass this by. This defection doesn't make up for what's actually been a terrible week for the Reform Party either, especially when it comes to HR matters, shall we say. The bigger story for Reform this week is they really are becoming the party of sleaze and scandal and dud and dodgy personnel. It's not really the right moment, I don't think, to start ditching your vetting procedures, don't you think, Mr Speaker? And even though they've only got a group of a handful of MPs, their chief whip seems to have had a busier week than ours. I mean, and that's kind of saying something. But I'm not sure if the Reform Party will welcome our partnership with the French on tackling the small boats this week. But when it comes to their own party, Mr Speaker, they're already really enthusiastically implementing a policy of one in, one out.